Hello, Jessica. Can you hear me okay on Zoom? Hello, Zoom. Can everyone hear me okay?
Uh-oh. You can't hear us because we said hello. Hello, Jesse,
Oh,
can you
no,
hear us?
I heard, we're doing great.
Okay.
Right. Sorry, guys. Feel better. I'm taking notes. You're taking notes, okay.
Somebody's gonna eat my sandwich for me now.
All right, I'm gonna call us to order. Well, we have 2 minutes. I see that they're still working over there on Zoom. Folks out there in Zoom land, can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Yeah, we can hear you guys.
Yep, and we can't hear you guys.
Oh, you cannot. Oh.
You guys sound a little bit distant out there.
So maybe you need to use that. Look at your microphone, see what microphone choices it gives you.
Oh.
Because you may be using your computer and you want to use the Logitech, that thing.
Jeff, come take a look.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I think that's improved. I think we've got you now.
Here, close that out.
Okay.
Go to this one.
Oh, that one.
Go here. No, you're on it. You're at the right place.
Okay.
You just put it closer to the person that's talking because when I like remote, you can hear it.
Oh, it is? Okay.
All right. Let's see here.
You're talking right
I'm trying to
now.
think if it's should be elevated or if it's good it's down like that. You probably don't know. I know.
I would just move it close to the person that's talking.
Okay.
We're hearing you better at this point.
Okay. All right. And we can hear you fine for what it's worth.
Excellent.
All right, so we're gonna call our meeting to order at 3 p.m. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda? I have one. We have in reports an update from the UTAP group about Pool Park. They're going to be zooming in today, and I would like to move them to the top of the agenda just so that we can make the best use of their time, and then we can get on with other things. So, probably 2 to 3 minutes, UTAP, before you are ready to come up, Jeff.
I second that.
All in
Okay.
favor?
We might have a bit more than 2 or 3 minutes though, Jesse. Is that gonna be okay?
Yeah, if you need more time, you can raise your hand in the chat and we'll just know that you're ready and get you in the next opportunity. that
Oh,
we-
you're saying when no, we're ready to go anytime. I'm sorry. I thought you meant that you were giving us 2 to 3 minutes total. And I'm. We're ready anytime you tell us to go.
Very good. We'll get there in just about 2 minutes.
Okay, sounds good.
So we moved and approved to do that. Consent agenda, did everyone have a chance to look at the meeting minutes? Were there any corrections to those? Is there a motion to approve those?
A motion.
And second?
Yes.
Jay, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Unanimously approved. Nancy. Any public comment? I'm not sure, Jeff, you can answer. Is Jessica Duarte part of your group? I'm seeing her there.
There she is.
Okay. Any other public comment? No one else in Zoom? Danny, anything to say? Thanks for being here as our alternate today.
I haven't received any separately.
Okay, all right. Then I'm going to move us on to new business. And we'll start out here with this is a good opportunity to bring Jeff in with his group and listen to their report. So Jeff, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you. Jesse, I think I'm talking to you, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thanks for letting us join in for a few minutes of your time today. We, you asked for like an update, and we decided that what we would do is to show you real quickly a few of the concepts that we're working on. I don't necessarily know if you want to make a lot of comment or just, you know, if we're going down the wrong road. None of these are fully worked out, but they're sort of the working schemes that we're dealing with. So I'm going to turn it over to, first of all, Sophia, who's going to lead you through scheme A, and let us know if there's a problem hearing or anything, and we'll try and do the best we can to fix that.
Right, well,
Jesse.
we're so excited to get this report. So thanks for putting it together.
Awesome.
Okay, we need to share our screen. So you're going to need to let us share the screen,
Sure thing. One moment.
and then we'll make sure the technology is going to allow for that.
You should be good to go.
You're good, Sophia.
Right, can you guys see my screen just fine?
Yes, great.
Okay, awesome. So we're super excited to walk you guys through what we've worked on so far. So we have 3 schemes that we're gonna be presenting today. So scheme A is one that Jess and I have been working on. This includes an expanded pool deck, a beer garden, and a sensory garden with play features. So here's the site plan. Again, this is really rough. We're still kind of like working through the, you know, kind of the overall site and, you know, making sure that we engage the creek side as well. But kind of just an overview of the site plan. We have our drop-off loop where you guys currently have that, adding some ADA parking here. The building is situated currently where your current building is, just, you know, larger. Then we have an expanded back. In the front of the building, you have a beer garden, and we're working through kind of like how does that connect with the creek to just make that more of like a social zone. That's really visible from the road too. So kind of inviting people to want to hang out and linger in Green Mountain Falls. On the backside, this is where we're really kind of like taking the park, still maintaining a lot of that green space, but adding a sensory garden with play features, the musical swings, dog park in the back, and then these espalier hedges, which are kind of like privacy hedges because there's like some houses on the other side, and then adding some shade structures as well, which are these yellow circles. Kind of diving into the pool house and floor plan. Right now, what we have for scheme A is about like 3,400 square feet. You have a lobby, gift shop, museum, a beer garden, lockers, and separate year-round accessible bathrooms. So your current building kind of sits where this lobby gift shop is. So we still have it kind of like elevated. So you can walk up a few steps and then you have you enter into the lobby, you have the gift shop to the right, and then a museum where you can have like a diorama of like Green Mountain Falls and just minerals, fossils, things like that. You have this space here so folks can kind of like explore a little bit. The lobby is kind of situated in a way that you can serve the museum, but also the gift shop area. And it's a way for people to also check in with the lobby folks before going to the pool. To the right of the gift shop, you have a concessions area, which can serve as like an area to get coffee from the gift shop space, but it also has openings where you can get concessions from the pool. You can grab a beer or some food and snacks and enjoy time in the beer garden. This yellow zone here is going to be kind of year-round accessible bathrooms. So you don't have to like go enter the pool and use these bathrooms. These are going to be accessible for like hikers and stuff. And then the pink on the right is going to be your lockers. So the idea is if you want to go to the pool, you would check in with the lobby and then you would exit out towards the main pool and head to the lockers. And then the expanded pool deck, you're going to have your main pool, which is that same footprint that you guys currently have, but expanding to include like an outdoor grill area. And then another zone for like a little bit more private hot tub area. So you have like a ramp that goes up to this zone as well. And then further back, we have a relatively large area for a splash pad, but definitely wanted that, the kids on what they want, and we can kind of adjust this space, but this is just kind of a placeholder thinking about where the splash pad would land in comparison to the pool house. So I'll let Jess talk about the sensory park features.
So we were trying to design to reflect the artistic culture of Green Mountain Falls while also being inclusive, importing universal design elements for those that are neurodivergent, vision impaired, and hearing impaired. So initially we wanted to create something that you could touch and feel, and as you can see here on the left, there's some different sand and rock elements and pathways that you could touch different grass heights as you're walking along them. Feeding off your obstacle course design idea, we have some balancing boards. We also have this large periscope that you can see higher elements. We know that you guys have some really nice trees surrounding the property, so it'd be cool for the kids and anybody else that's interested to look and see possibly birds nesting in the trees. In our design, we also wanted to reflect the river. So we have some terraced river elements, river rocks that people can walk around with bare feet and just feel and use their different senses while going through the paths. We wanted to create more of like a spiral element within the park. When Sophia was talking about it, that large circle in the middle, just have different pockets that people can go. And here in the center, it shows like a spider web so kids can try and crawl through it while making the little bells make noises. There's these other auditory games that they can play. Let's see, move to the next one. To separate the dog park from the garden and sensory area, we thought it'd be nice to have some like different terraced and elevated features, including some native plantings. So just to give some other artistic elements as well. And the espalier, again, would separate the adjacent housing and neighbors. And we thought it would be nice to have some seating and nook pocket areas for people to have conversation or just nice reading nooks as well. Yeah. Oh, a large part that I thought was really important was, again, the artistic element, but bringing in some auditory senses. So insects, to me, I think are really important to include in a space, especially for health of a space. So I thought that having these different bee homes and bat homes would be a great element to include into the sensory park.
So that was scheme A, and Hunter will be going over scheme B.
And I want to preface this a little bit. It's okay, I can yell. You didn't work, the people that did this plan are not here. They had class and stuff, so they couldn't be here. So we're winging it a little bit, but kudos to Hunter for jumping in.
So this is a concept bubble diagram. We would use the existing parking lot along Ute Pass Avenue and add some formalized creek access points with the playground moved to the creek side in front of the expanded pool deck, and then rearranging the park and adding new programming. And then this is a more detailed site plan of what it could look like. So going from left to right, adding an overlook deck off the parking overlooking the creek with multiple access points on the other side. Terracing down the creek from the nature playground area. The pool deck would have a splash pad, a wading pool, a hot tub, all nestled into some bermed landscape planters along the fence line, and adding a lifeguard tower between the slide. Within the park, there is a patio added along the back of the building, and the existing fitness court has a shade cover added. There's 2 pickleball courts, badminton courts, mini golf course, bocce ball, and trading the existing basketball and tennis courts for 1 large multi-court. There's also an RT shade structure for 4 permanent musical swings and a dog park. The playground inspiration would be something along this line, and the patio and park along the back of the building with a mini golf between the existing trees. And then here's some images of the musical swings and what they could look like. And this is a pool house floor plan. So the access point would be right around here, and then you would enter in to a gift shop or reception area, and then with building.
Yeah, it'll bring you through the building. There's like a museum, so kind of like as you're passing through, you kind of have like these, stops to go see like fossils, like diorama, any type of display. And then it opens up to like a lounge, which has like a double-sided fireplace, so you can kind of experience that fire from the pool or from the coziness of this lounge area, which also has a lovely little bar. And then, yeah, I'll talk about this a little bit more. Hunter, feel free to jump in if I'm missing something.
Well, that's a social room for like birthday parties and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is like a
And then
conference.
there's a workout, we call it a conference room, but a room the public could use that room. And then that opens up onto the lounge area if need be. And then there's an exercise space beyond that. And then, I can't read that from here.
Oh, this is a kitchen area.
Okay, that's where the concessions are.
Yeah, concessions, and then some like bathrooms, and then locker rooms. Still working on refining the plan a little bit. So this is kind of just the idea of, we're moving basically the building from the south side of the pool to like the north side of the pool.
Right.
So anything to add here, Jeff?
No.
All right.
That's
And then this is kind of an idea of the massing that Michelle and Sarah were putting together. And then a list of all of the features. And then here's like some precedent images of, how they want to take that massing to the next level. Right. So scheme C, this is Abe's scheme.
all right.
Yeah, so for this one right now, we just have the building, but we're thinking of flipping it to the other side of the pool We thought there was a nice synergy between kind of the pool splash pad and then integrating that into the river, kind of have all of that sort of in the same, uninterrupted by a building, basically. So this one is actually 2 stories. The plan on the left is the bottom floor. The entry is that bottom left corner there. Entering into a little information kiosk about the town of Green Mountain Falls, as well as your public restrooms for hikers or anybody just visiting. Off of that is the gift shop, and then as you enter through that, you kind of enter into the pool sort of domain. The philosophy behind the entry kind of sequence is that you could close up the gift shop and close up the entry into the pool, so you could have that space there that could be open and it wouldn't have to be supervised. So those bathrooms could be available at any hour of the day. The other thing there, you could just flip the door, the entry to the other side and have exterior entry bathrooms there. Anyway, the control point into the pool is that number 4 kind of desk that you enter through. The idea is kind of a pool house, sort of clubhouse kind of feel, with your exit south down into the pool area with some covered seating. You can see kind of where the building is in relation to the pool there. And then moving upstairs, you kind of enter into the bar area. And then to the left is an exterior kind of deck seating area. And then on the right side of the upper plan is sort of a health club. There's some studio space where you could have classes, and then kind of a spa area too. I think that'll be worked on a little bit more to give a little bit more distinction and kind of privacy to the spa area. But that's sort of where I'm at right now in development. And these are just sort of some quick ideas. Upstairs, I thought it'd be cool to have a second level because you could really utilize some of the nice views that you have there in the valley. And then on the right, kind of some kind of structure that sort of invites you into the building and then shades that upper portion. I think would be cool, a cool addition to the park. So just some quick ideas of where we're at now. But yeah, that's all we have.
Okay. So that's what we've been working on. Well, I think at some point we can send this down to you so you can look at it at your leisure, but at some point, I assume in the near future, we'll come down to Green Mountain Falls and have another public meeting, but we want to make sure we have all the concepts buttoned up to the way you like them to be. So if there's any comments you have or directions you'd like us to explore differently than we have, let us know now or later.
Yeah, so we're going to go around the table, as I call it here, with the board here in just a few minutes. But I want to ask some questions before we do that.
Okay.
One is, do you have any survey results yet, or any indications of how that's going?
We absolutely. I'm sorry. That's actually, yeah, we do.
Yeah, we have 37 responses in already. And what we can do is like put that in a concise presentation if you'd like. Well, I guess like how long are you guys planning to have that survey open? It seems like there's just results trickling in every few days.
Yeah, it seems like we could probably do a push among our committee to get some more respondents in. You know, I would love to have 100 responses sort of as a minimum. So we'll start leaning into that and see what we can do to get that number increased.
Yeah, we can prepare a kind of executive summary of what we found so far with the 40 respondents so far. And yeah, I think 100's a nice ambitious number, but it's a good number. So we should push for it.
Yes. And then I think for our group's understanding, I'd like to know the timeline on your side, when, you know, how it fits into your class schedule of if we were leaning into one of these designs, how soon do you need to do that for your class to continue moving on? And that sort of thing. So that informs us of when we need to get the next public meeting set up.
Yeah, well, classes are always kind of an ongoing concern, but I think we're done with school early May, and certainly after that, through the summer, we're pretty unfettered with regard to being able to get together. I assumed that we probably would want to discuss or present these schemes to you or the board, I mean, to the community writ large sometime in April, so that we could push on and try to have things buttoned up into like a hybrid final scheme, over the early part of the summer. And so I don't know if that really answers your question, Jesse, but that's the timetable we'd like to work with. If we probably have these schemes that we just looked at kind of finalized in the next week is spring break, so a lot of people will be working hard on it then. I would think that we'd probably have something in early April to show more fleshed out for you, and then ready to go to the public if you'd like.
Great. So, so I think as we go around the room here, guys, we're not gonna dig into the design, or get super specific, but I think what might be helpful is if you have a comment on one of the schemes, like, ooh, this seems to be missing. Oh, maybe, let's do that. So I'll start with myself, even though I'm not prepared. Very interesting, all three different. I liked the sensory park experience. It reminded me of like a foot park in Germany, where that type of sensory park is really fun. And I don't know if you have the ability to go back up to that site plan.
We can certainly do that.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that all three of these designs really have merit. There was something that I just wanted to point out on the very first one.
Yeah.
And I'll remember when I see it. I was just trying to get an understanding of what's happening with the courts.
You're gone.
Yeah, so we're keeping, this is the outdoor fitness area. The expanded splash pad kind of takes over, I think it was like the basketball court here. Half of it kind of like encroaches into that basketball court pad. And then in this scheme, we did remove the big tennis court. Since one of the other schemes had it, we wanted to kind of just show a possibility of like, we remove this, what can possibly happen.
Yeah, I want to piggyback on that comment. We try to show three different schemes that really ask three different sets of questions. And this prioritizes one group of users, and another one has the courts and stuff like that in place. And then it's up to the community to sort of say, no, we really need our courts, and we're going to come up with a hybrid scheme at the end, but we don't want to have three schemes that are basically all the same. So this features one priority over some of the others, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. So anyone here have a comment they want to make on this scheme? Jay?
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it appeared that there was a structure or a series of lines on the plan that appeared to block access to the restrooms. If you could show how one gets access to the restrooms, right below as you drew that line, there's a structure barrier there, right below
It's just
that.
a privacy wall.
Yeah, it's a slatted
Okay.
privacy wall so that, if you're hanging out at the beer garden, you don't really quite see who's coming in and out of
Okay.
the bathroom.
There's also a security aspect of that too, which you want people to know where the restrooms are, but you don't want people driving by late at night going in there. I don't know how long if they're going to be open all night or whatever, but
Okay.
it's kind of an up and there's both sides could be argued on that one.
Okay, so the bathrooms in the locker rooms are the two areas at the top left and bottom left of the locker area. You're on a bathroom there and a bathroom above.
Correct.
Okay, so there's two separate sets of bathrooms.
Yeah, we
plan.
felt that, in this scheme, we felt that these locker bathrooms are gonna be specific for people that are using the pool. You can only access this area if like you're using the pool.
Okay,
Versus this is like, if you're hanging out at the beer garden or you just finished a hike, you can just go use these bathrooms versus like going through the entire like pool
All right.
house.
so the note separate year-round accessible bathrooms refers to some other location?
No, those are the-
Sorry, that was this
Those are the
yellow
yellow
part,
ones, these are the
yeah.
yellow.
Okay, so you would get access to those through the beer garden.
Right, well, yeah, correct.
Yeah, so there's steps that come up here so that you can enter, and then if you hang a right, you'll pass the concessions window, and then there's a ramp, and there's also stairs here that you can access the beer garden.
We could, if you think it's important to have those more direct access, we could probably open one side of that or figure out a way to get those. I think some of the other schemes had them more different kind of location.
Yeah, I
Just wanted to understand how
Yeah.
that would be accessed.
Yeah, I think in whichever iteration, separate year-round accessible bathrooms are important. We know that's the one thing that we know we have to have with this project. So just making sure that they're, visible, will be important. And we're not looking at an elevation now, so maybe they are, but I think that's what we were asking about.
And just to be clear, we mentioned beer garden and, I think maybe in jest, but maybe in seriousness, the mayor had mentioned it might be a nice place to have a beer or a drink or something like that. That is really just a place for gathering and people to, after a hike or, if their kid drop off their kids at school, want to have a cup of coffee. It's really just meant to be an inclusive outdoor space to hang out in the summertime.
Yeah, I think calling it a gathering place or a picnic area probably makes it a little bit more appealing to the G-pop, even though we want the mayor to be happy.
Well, whiskey.
Yeah, no,
We can change it for sure.
yeah, I wondered I wanted to see what the sensitivity was on that. We understand it's a public facility and, so.
We have one more comment here before we move on.
I think Nancy has a comment too. Do you want to go ahead? I have a general question, not so much I liked all three schemes, but just as a clarification, the existing pool structure is going to be demolished. Is that right? In all these cases, everything we have now is going to be removed. Is that right?
Not the pool.
Not the pool, yeah.
Not the pool. Well, the pool, yeah, I understand that, but all the structures will be removed. Is that right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. I was just wondering, we had a pretty successful year with the pool last year. Do these schemes merit this much expense if we don't have the turnout for the pool? Or how is this going to be, I guess, justified as far as, Don, how many people do we have for the pool last year?
Let me say this. I don't want to talk about this while they're doing their presentation, but let's make it a part of our
Okay.
meeting.
Okay. That's all I had.
Nancy?
So first of all, thank you for all your hard work on all of this. All three schemes have their merits, and I really like the two-story pool building. I do have a question though on all of these layouts. Have you taken into consideration the town well that is there that put, that we use to put water into the pool? And because I think some of these designs sort of are on top of the well. So you might want to consider that because that well is used.
Great point.
We're gonna need location of that. I think you're right. Do we have that location?
Yeah, is the well in that buried building?
Is it in the building underground?
No, no.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can mark it out on a site survey and send it up to you.
Okay.
That's a great point, Nancy.
Yeah, we can work around. I mean, none of these schemes are cast in stone yet. We're still manipulating them. I think that, I think in all the cases, we were thinking that that the pool equipment was gonna be upgraded and, could probably be put in a different place, but, yeah, the well, that should be respected for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jay.
That kind of leads into one other question. I don't know how you've accounted the mechanical structures necessary to heat water and, provide the research there on the eastern side of the sort of the northeastern side, I believe, of the current pool.
Yeah.
How are those accounted in the designs?
Remember,
Well, do you guys, I had sort of had thought when we first met, the consensus that I had is that the equipment could be relocated or should be relocated and replaced with new equipment. So my sense, without knowing for sure, is that the equipment could be, will probably be quite a bit smaller than that because things are smaller now. And I don't know if it was this group that talked about it, but at some point, way long time ago, I thought it was discussed that possibly it would go to a saltwater pool, so the chemical stuff was less of a problem, but maybe I could be wrong about that. That gets into a problem. I think that was what we were trying to do year round, but anyway, so we'll do you see a problem with relocating that stuff?
I don't think so. I think with whichever scheme, an equipment room will get
Yeah,
to. I mean, I think it's a given. We're more looking at the overall.
Should have an equipment room designated though in the design, either as a basement or a ground level structure.
I was gonna say, I would think maybe we want to have it be a detached building. So yeah, okay, we'll make sure that gets included.
On the two-story scheme, I may have missed it if there were restrooms on the top level. That might be nice because the top level could be sort of a perk or a membership privilege.
Yeah, there'll be bathrooms.
Yep, there are.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
There are.
There aren't right now, but there will be.
Okay, good.
And it's required by code too, so we have them up there, so.
Don? No? All right, well, we will lean in hard on getting more survey respondents and you can send these down. Yeah, we can dig into them a bit more and.
I was gonna say, you mentioned timeline at one point, Jesse, and I think there is an important bit of timeline. When you guys open the pool, we should have a display or an exhibit up and ready, whatever scheme looks like we're gonna go toward developing, it should be there for not just public interest, but maybe fundraising and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys can get us a date, somewhat certain that we're gonna, I guess regardless, at some point when the pool is open, we should try and arrange for there to be a display down there. So
Absolutely, yeah.
So, okay, well, we'll keep working. Like I said, we're not done, and we'll try and take into account the comments that you have, and I'll send you down what we showed you today, just so you can peruse through it, and then we'll have a follow-up conversation in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, thanks so much for all the effort that's going in. It's really creative and fun.
Okay.
Thanks,
You guys
guys.
be well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. And so I don't think that we have anyone else on Zoom. I'm going to. Nope, not that one. It's okay. I can get it back, maybe. There we go. So that was a great report. So let's just dig into it since we're already on this topic. Go ahead, Phil.
You know, my first reaction is pretty grandiose for Green Mountain Falls. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of expense there. What's the need? And, you know, that's something we can sell, you know, as a location or a destination to come down here and use this facility. But it hasn't been that way in the past. So, you know, I'm all for, you know, improving that pool part. But I guess what's the question is, how much do you want to spend, or how much do you want to, you know, redesign for the town? So,
Yeah, so I'll try to summarize because you haven't been at, you've missed some things.
you know,
And that's okay. But we can't go backwards every time. So I think in summary, the pool building is not winterized and really can't do much more than it's doing. Historically, you know, this is the third pool building that's been there. We're on the current third one. So in previous designs, there have been spas and there have been some more unique things. You know, I would, and some of them, they were mostly enclosed buildings with the pool. So that kind of building has a short life. So I think we're being cognizant of that. And then there's, you know, there's not only the potential possible Kirkpatrick grants, but there's also GOCO may be interested in supporting the project because of our partnership with UTEP and also DOLA. So, so putting together a project on a big scale seems like we're in the right way to get some grant monies, but on the flip side of that, you're right. And we've talked about it many times that we have to make sure that as a community or as a town, we're accepting a gift that we can manage and maintain, and looking at, you know, I think one thing we have to do when we get the final design is look at, okay, the town can manage this. Should a contractor manage this, you know, and see what those numbers are. And an important thing to do is we can always request, you know, some years of maintenance, ongoing maintenance, support staff to assist in keeping this thing ran properly. But, you know, we've seen some things in this design process that we can see need a ton of upkeep, and it probably isn't reasonable. And are we that fussy or particular? Like some of it may be a little bit too grandiose, to use the word that you used. So all things to think about as we're going through the process. But we're still in the dreaming and scheming and
Well, thanks for that clarification, because like I said, I've been gone for what, 3 months or something like that. But I like these ideas. I like really plan A. But you know, every plan has its merit.
Yeah.
and disadvantages. So
I think Plan A was much more developed than the
Yeah.
others.
And they're not finished with the other two, so
No.
there might be something in the other two that might be, because Plan A obviously was further along. But I also think we really need, like you said, push those surveys, because that feedback from people will help them also decide, because they're just they're dreaming off of the spaghetti we threw at the wall. And what we really, because you know, taking away the basketball court, I was like, ooh, because every time I drive by there, the basketball court is getting used. So they need to see that data in raw data from those surveys. And we really need to push that survey. I've sent it out to my trail ambassadors, out to the Stilling Basin people, out to Friends of Youth Past Trails, but I don't think it's been put on social media. I don't think it's been put on our town website. So there's a lot, and I think the mayor is going to send it out to his group also. And it doesn't have to be Green Mountain Falls residents, because they ask if you are or not.
Yeah.
On the survey.
So I'll get it out to the Green Box people and the
Yeah.
Historic Green Mountain Falls Foundation people. All of us, use every channel that you've got, trails,
Yes.
use every channel.
Is like say, forward it to your neighbors. Because the more, those people, and I even got a response from someone that said, I just got this from my neighbor and please add me to your list. So that's how you figure out all of those, spread out and get that. I think it's more emails or just word of mouth. Social media is okay, but I think it's those direct emails, talking to your neighbor, hey, have you done that food survey?
I was thinking about the tennis courts. And, it's a good point, but if we have a plan like, hey, would that area be utilized more by the town rather than just people going out to play tennis? There's not too many people that would probably want to play in the heat, or something like that, but if you have a multi-function facility, then you may get more participation, just regular tennis players.
I think that was the whole, when we first were talking about this, was more inclusive, more family oriented, more,
And then also if,
and I like
And
the
that's
sensory part.
one thing for the designers to think about, if the tennis court goes away, people still like to play tennis or something like that. They've got these kind of U-shaped courts where you can play ball, but you hit against the wall and come back in the other place. And it's a smaller footprint than a tennis court, but gives them the opportunity.
You are sitting by a level 4 tennis player right now, so.
Well, screw tennis, right? Well, I was a city champion racquetball player once upon a time, so I kind of like racquetball. So.
You will have complications, though, even with a multifunctional court. I know the set of courts at, on the, off 67 in Woodland Park are switched back and forth from tennis to pickleball, which is the current.
Pickleball has
right now, but it is big and it is truly contentious.
Yeah.
Does pickleball have a smaller footprint than
I mean, we could easily have 2 pickleball courts where our tennis court is at, but converting a court from tennis to pickleball back and forth is problematic. It's not a great experience for either user. What's happening with the tennis court currently is something that we all sort of talked it is being used as a multi-court right now. There's kids roller skating in it, skateboarding in it, training their dogs in it and playing tennis. So it's, we as a community use it for what we need it for that day. And it's got some functionality the way that it is. And the tennis court is a little bit more allowing of those things, especially since it doesn't have a turf on it. It's just concrete. We put a court surface on it, then you can't skateboard on it. Someone probably will, and it'll probably get torn up. So, having our all-purpose court and our tennis court be the same. But if the tennis court goes away, there's other options. There are other tennis courts, but I think pickleball is here to stay. I don't play it because I'm a tennis player. And but I do see that it's a growing sport. If you look at what's happening to it on a national level, LeBron James is bringing Tom Brady. All these people are involved and they're pushing it and it's working and it's extremely popular and it's not going to go away anytime soon. And that's okay because people are enjoying it. And that's what, and we had many people in our initial public meetings who felt that was important to them. So I didn't like the idea of adding the big splash pad and everything behind the pool and losing the park. It was my least favorite thing that I saw today.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's some good bones. There's some good bones and they're gonna get better bones and stronger bones after they get more input from those surveys.
And you know, a multi-story building or a two-story building really could be a delineation to make it more manageable. Because if the top floor is like, got the fitness center and a conference room and, I don't know about having a spa. I don't know about having massage rooms. I don't know about any of this. That's not something that a municipality does. But if there's a membership and there's a, and there's a managing partner to taking care of everything on the second floor. If they want to schedule massages, if they want to do this, they can, they've got the space. But we did have a call, which I thought was really nice at the public meeting about, having fitness equipment available in the wintertime to go use in a nice community space was a nice, I think something we could all enjoy.
We've also talked about this phase.
Mhm.
So the park might be the first phase, the big pool building might be the second phase. I mean, this is not gonna be, everything's gonna be done by 2026.
Yeah, doing this in sections.
But if we have the overall plan and we have some, engineering and whatever we need, we can go search for those grants to
Yeah.
make that possible.
Yeah.
So
Doing
it might feel like a lot right now, but if we're gonna buy it, cut it up into chunks and have a plan.
Having been gone for a while, what the surveys that we do have, what was the most important thing that the surveys
We
mentioned?
don't get the results they do. They did the survey.
Oh,
We're
okay.
just passing.
Yeah,
on the survey.
but-
They'll let us know,
But some of the high points from the community engagement, I think is what Phil's asking.
Yeah.
I think pickleball was one of them. I think keeping the current assets and not losing any of them was important.
Mhm.
I think hot tubs around the pool was one that was really talked about and not shown up in any of today's
There was one in
scenarios.
A, I
It
think,
was
in
one,
A.
right, but I didn't think that was in keeping.
possibly outdoor, accessible bathrooms year round.
outdoor accessible bathrooms.
That's number one, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
number one.
Dialed in.
Yeah.
That's why I asked the question about path to access. At project A, and you walking through the building to get to it, if I can infer the structure properly. So that's really, that would be it. Yes, you have to go through the concession area to get to the deck of the pool and then the bathrooms of it.
Which plan was that?
That was plan A. The other was I asked about the pool access or the yellow areas where the year-round bathrooms, but you have to go up onto it. And it wasn't clear how they would control, how the bathrooms would be locked and controlled. Because you had to walk around that privacy fence.
Yeah, but they did hear us when we said that seems a little, because that was a big one, and also having, the building and the restrooms open year round, and that becomes the welcome center for hikers and.
I like the idea.
Go ahead,
of
Danny. Yeah,
the,
yeah.
Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
just think that outdoor gathering area right in front of the pool at one time would be a huge community asset. Boy, I think, the community members would gather there, people hiking, that was something I haven't thought.
Yeah, I like that.
And honestly.
And
Beer slash community garden.
Yeah,
And-
I like the beer. I like the beer.
And I liked it too, and I think maybe visualizing it not fenced in so that it's a continuation of what we already have, which is great picnic areas. I think that was an important thing that was talked about, was we don't want to give up, our creekside picnics.
I have one observation. One of the things that has worked very well in some outdoor spaces, commercial outdoor spaces down in Colorado Springs, is seating area adjacent to a kids' play area. I don't know if you know the business, Red Lakes, brewery space in Colorado Springs. Does an incredible draw afternoons, especially weekend time, just after school time. You'll see people hanging out at a group of picnic tables and mob of kids playing on it's an artificial grass surface. In Plan A, that, beer garden area looks back on the creek, but it would not see the, outdoor space, the playground space.
Kids can play in the creek.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Yeah,
is
that-
perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, in the summertime.
That's what they want.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, winter times, it's like be out there, but that big old, yeah, that's what my kids played all the time. We never went to the playground.
Yeah, the community survey is so important. And that'll have to be our guiding star in how we pick elements out of all three of these scenarios that they really move forward on.
Because communities.
Is this gonna be, excuse me, go ahead, Jim.
Sorry.
I'm done.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Your turn. You have the talking stick.
Is this gonna be a seasonal space or like for, summer, winter and fall, or is it just gonna be just summer, more summer oriented or?
Well, to have year-round restrooms, some part of it is gonna be year-round.
Yeah, because I think that would sell pretty good.
Yeah, and I think, we heard I would say that the dreamers of the group think that having year-round hot tubs around the pool open is great. And then there's the flip of that is the conservative, how are we gonna keep it open? How are we gonna do this? So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I think that would be,
It would be I think it would be a real draw.
yeah, I would. I can see people out here in the snow. Beer.
Yeah, I plan to be one of them.
Hot tub. That's kind of
Okay.
dangerous coming in.
All right. Anything else or should we move on? Okay, moving on to item 5A, spring cleanup, set a date and responsibilities with a note that the Great American Cleanup for Creek Week is April the 27th. And last year we did not. We did not coordinate efforts. But so last year, Nancy, when was our community day last year?
We had to push it back a week because of the weather.
Mhm.
Um, End of April is usually a little iffy. The only reason I put that up there is because I didn't know if we wanted to tie it into that or not. Or if we wanted to just do our own thing like we did last year in mid-May. I mean, either way is fine. It doesn't, it's up to us what we need to do.
Yeah, I think, last year we did it later because our workday took on a big responsibility of getting the parks ready for the season. And so doing it later than April 27th and doing it mid-May has some value there. But weather-wise, grass growth-wise, blah, 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 not a lot of things just starting to wake up between end of April and mid-May.
I think we did a lot of trimming, weed mitigation, goose poo removal. Tree, I'm not, we did some of that. We didn't do any like weed whacking or mowing because
Nothing was up.
going by then.
Yeah.
But we kept people busy. I mean, it was a busy 2
Yeah, it was a
hours.
very successful day. So I think the timing of it was good. And I think April 27th is too early, in my opinion. Everyone on board with that? So, one thing that we're gonna do today, item 5C, is to talk about the park's maintenance plan. So let's talk about that now and then decide the date. Because the date of our spring cleanup is really a key component of the plan that we put together for management of the parks. Everybody following me? So Danny, have you ever seen that plan? Oh, yeah, perfect. Bill, here's one. You've seen it? Okay, I'm gonna keep it then so I can talk. Yeah, please. Yeah, yeah. So historically, we put this plan together last year. We turned it over to the town manager. We did our part as a committee. And unfortunately, there was not a public works person to step into what we've called here as a contractor. So we extended ourselves further and we took on some of those responsibilities with volunteer days and with, with volunteer hours from this group. Currently, the town has a staff person for this position and we're hopeful that that person stays through the summer. So I thought that we should dust this thing off and give it to the town manager again, so that there's a little bit of a guideline. Our expertise of this group has put together, a maintenance plan for the parks for that person to follow. But before I just turned in last year's plan, which I think was good. Let's go through it and see if there's anything that we want to change. And so in thinking of what needs to change, that's probably based on what didn't work last year. And a big part of it didn't work because we didn't have the folks. So I've been through it and I don't really see anything that needs to be changed per se. There are some things that can be eliminated, such as some of the little improvements that we were able to do, not little, but improvements. The split rail fence that we got around Flagpole Park, but let's still look at it and make sure that it's in good condition, those type of things. But we're handling a bulk load of things in the community workday. So the CWD that you see as the initial engagement was things that we did or are or will accomplish on those community workdays. Then there are some things that are listed as a PRT thing, like add dog waste stations. I don't think we ever got to that last year, but let's look at it again this year. Then there are things that are marked as contractor, and contractor or public works hours are both listed on here in more of the ongoing engagement. So if you see D there, that's a designated employee of the town. And we're saying that, we're saying that the gazebo park needs to be mowed every 2 months is what we have here. So maybe that frequency is probably not correct. Should be 1 month, right? Or should it be 3 weeks? 2 weeks. Yeah, that's a mistake. Nancy probably did that.
Servicing of the dog receptacles now, because Joe is not volunteering, not doing that anymore.
Okay. So I'm gonna work on this between now and the next PRT meeting. So I think I'm just gonna send this home with you as a homework assignment. Look it over. If you see things that are missing, let me know. If you see things that the frequency needs to be changed on, like we just found, let me know. And if you if you just have an idea, let me know and let me try to figure out a way to get it in here. So that is a homework assignment. It's due to you 1 week before the next PRT meeting so that I've got some time to put it together. Sound good to everybody?
Is this an attachment we can edit?
I would prefer that you didn't.
Okay.
It's easier if you just send me an email with what you want changed
Okay.
so that I can go in and change it. Because if I have to go track changes, everyone works differently. And and this on an Excel spreadsheet looks a lot different in the computer. And if anybody messes it up, it'll just screw my mind. So that's.
Is that the eight spruce? That triangle has this river ties,
Down there,
we're in spruce. That way. The other side of Green Mountain, the other side of Green Mountain Falls, the other way coming in,
okay.
across from kind of like a trail of theirs, sort of.
I don't know. Yeah, and in fact, we had some people that live down there. Say to us at a meeting, I believe, or in person, said, hey, I live down there. We didn't get any of your cool wayfinding signage. Don't forget that we're down here. In fact, we'll donate, if you'll do something. So I think, wayfinding signage is never done. Never complete. So let's, but it's something that has to be budgeted for because it's not extremely expensive, but it's not something that we can just count on the town having funds to put in. I
That would be a
think those
great
are about
area.
1,200 a piece.
It'd be a great area to adopt. If someone wanted to adopt the area. If someone who lives down in that area and wanting to beautify it, for them to adopt it.
So a good point. Let's, but does that need to be weeded? Does that need to be maintained? Does it need some love? That could be part of the community workday. So let's find out, if it belongs to the town or not. Can I give you that assignment?
See, that's what.
Yeah.
It
is.
Give your changes to Chairman Strip at April 3rd.
April 3rd, not the 10th.
The 10th is our meeting.
Okay, I see, yes, send me notes, right? Thank you, sorry about that.
Yeah, nope, it's good. It's good. Yeah, I think adding that to the community workday would be good. And maybe, hopefully what happens at Stilling Basin Park can then happen there. And we, if we can get a little bit of a pattern, some synergy about this year, we're working on this. Stilling Basin Park is going to probably be the biggest one. But then we can start looking at other areas that we as a committee can have a lot of influence and impact over. So since we've decided that we're not going to partner our spring cleanup with Fountain Creek cleanup, we could still participate. We could still have a work day, or we could just say our community work day that we have planned makes more sense.
I think we're successful.
Yeah. So let's do that. But do we need to name that now? Or can we name that at our next meeting when we've reviewed the rest of this list?
To get the word out. So we could table it until.
I'm okay either way. So table. All right. So then we had some information. Now, where did you put that?
Oh, for the gal.
Uh-huh, yep, it's not here. Sorry, I'm doing things here and up there. And he did that by dragging something. So I'm gonna minimize this. And go to this computer. And now I'm almost there, guys. Now I've done it.
You could go.
That helped. Now let me go back to where. There. That's there. Yeah, I apologize. Even though Bo showed me how to do this before he left, it's not working. And we don't have it in our meeting packet. So I can, yeah, I can speak to it. Oh. Oh yeah, that's what I gotta do. Yes. So so I received this through someone in the Green Box office who had received it. And there's this company called Galvanize who works on recycling. And they do some things where they partner with the community to do some ongoing recycling. So that could be a thing that we work through when we get the dumpster blind up and operational. But they also do some like 1 day events. And I thought, it'd be really, it might be very impactful to invite them down to participate in our community workday. Because it would engage more people and it's an opportunity to get people get rid of some stuff in the garage. And they do it all. They do paint, they do tires. There's nothing on the list, I think, that they said they don't take. And they seem really responsible and responsible to the environment, and they're doing everything. They're not just collecting it and putting it in the landfill, which I think we all know happens with a high percentage of things that are recycled. So I thought this company had a lot of merit, and I thought maybe engaging them on one of our community work days would be a way to test them out and see if it's a good fit and learn about what else they can do. So just wanted to bring it to the group to get comments.
Do you pay them?
They don't talk about anything about fees in their flyer. So it would be something I would definitely contact them to find out more about.
Let's start the process. Getting them engaged, there's a lot of those, a lot of recycling feeds. Literally do turn into a landfill because of the mix of materials. As an education component, even if they choose not to engage with us because of volume or because of logistics that they have, having someone here, inviting one of their people here to talk about things as people are doing the workday, that would be a really positive event. how do you manage various recycling components? I'm up in Breckenridge a lot, and Breckenridge is vigorously defending their recycling program against some foreign plastics. For example, certain number 4 plastics really aren't recyclable, and they're very about it. They will find you if you don't do that story. How this group manages it would be interesting.
It'd be good to, even if they couldn't, even if we're too late for the spring, maybe we're in time for the fall. Our spring cleanup, and we could coordinate with them on that too. I think there's multiple opportunities of being able to have a coordination day with them.
You were the contact for them. This is a flyer that came through Greenbox or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll reach out to him, and if I feel synergy, and then maybe I can invite him to the next meeting, or if it's something I can just easily break down for the group, I'll just.
I think it's an excellent
that.
idea because you can't get rid of paint or any hydrocarbons. You can't get rid of any latex paint. You just can't put it in landfill. Also for metals, you can't get rid of them. You can't just dump them. So there's a lot of things that I'm sure the community would like to get rid of. But it's just, where do you go and where do you do it? It makes it, if they hear and do it, locally, then I'm sure you get a good response.
It could be a nice annual.
And this information, that email that I sent out to you with the agenda packet, it's the third party link. So you have all this information. You just have to click on that third party link. Because of the new ADA mandates, it's really hard to put things like this in the packet on the town website now. So they're starting to separate some of these things out and having them as a third party link. So you guys have it.
Good. So no action on that other than I'll do some homework and bring it back to the group. So 5B, we have not gotten to, that's the Bigfoot hike proposal. And is that Ring the Peak, Friends of Ring the Peak?
Yeah,
It's on the agenda.
That actually got fit into it.
Gotcha. Let's see.
It's Russ. Howard. From Ring the Peak. Now you have to be able to go back. Whatever you did before, just go.
It's fair.
There it is. Yeah, go up 1 or 2. There. Yeah.
Gotcha. So, so I met with Russ, who does this annual event as a fundraiser for his friends group, and they support Ring the Peak. His group has sort of dwindled, he told us. It was a very informational meeting because he told us the status of his group, which has dwindled since COVID, and they just haven't rebounded. And he's a big admirer of what our friends group is doing. And, we all met him the night of the open space award ceremony down in the Springs. Big blonde hair, Bigfoot shirt. If you don't remember him, it's on you. Because he's very memorable. So he does this fundraiser where he goes out dressed as Bigfoot and sort of hides in the hills along a hiking trail.
People don't know he's there. Yeah, no. He
Right.
throws pine cones at him.
Yeah. And so, the premise of the event is that people know which trail he's going to be on and for what hours, and they go and they hike the trail, and if you make contact with him, you may get an award at the end of the day. It's, pretty loosey-goosey, but he's very charismatic. He does some fun Facebook posts, and he does create some awareness. So he wanted to do this year's event, probably on the Bratton Trail. And so he met with Rocco and I, and said, what would the steps need to be? And I said, well, I'll run it through the PRT group. Rocco said he would run it through the Friends of the Ute Pass Trails group. And, so I'm bringing it before you all to see if there's some interest in supporting him in this. Seems like a lot of fun.
Think it would be a really fun family day, since it is on Bratton, and that is story.
Bratton is mostly on historic.
I mean, is the wooded, because I can't see him being out on duty, even in September, in a Bigfoot. First of all, he has nowhere to hide, and it'd be too hot, so he'd probably be back in that wooded area,
That insurance one.
and I don't know if that's town property or historic Green Mountain Falls property, so we'd have to sort of figure out whose permission we need to get to be able to do that. But I can see a food truck coming in, I could see it being, a fun day for kids, and I just think it's a community event.
Yeah.
It would be a good time.
Yeah, so that morning, we really, took his idea and said, well, if you're gonna bring it to Green Mountain Falls, we'd like to participate in many different ways. And so sort of a synopsis of what the conversation was that morning of where it could go would be that, people who buy a ticket to come participate in this hike would park at Joyland. They would hike Mount Dewey. They would encounter somewhere between, the Mount Dewey trailhead and wherever Bratton Trail connects to the next point. Then they would come down, hopefully have a beer, have breakfast. They would get free tickets to see a Sky Space show that afternoon so that they can also visit Red Butte. And
Well, and I know that is the weekend after the pool closes, but even if it was a nice day. And we could, possibly have that pool open just for that afternoon, so after the families would get done with the hike, and then maybe they could go have a swim at the pool too. I mean, I just see it as a very, as long as the weather cooperates. It'd be a really fun activity for Green Mountain Falls to participate in.
so I think, go ahead, Don.
I was just gonna wait until I finished.
Well, I'm fixing to wrap it all up in a bow, so go.
Consider, taking a different trail than Bratton, because that's gonna knock out a lot.
I would think so too,
That's a long night.
Yeah.
I've heard lovely stuff.
Or even Red Butte.
And Red Butte is,
Right on Red Butte, then I was beginning to look up the maps. But if it's on Red Butte, it's 99% historic. So you don't have to dig for.
And there would be places he could hide, I think,
sure.
fish. He could hide underneath, digging a hole underneath your big roof thing. So it could be the pool.
So hearing the interest that I had that morning from Rocco, hearing the interest that I'm hearing with PRT, and just logistically saying, if we're gonna have people parking here, we hope that they're gonna go eat in the restaurants. I think at the end of the day, he wants a meetup point somewhere, which could be the farm stand or the pantry or any number of places, or the pool. Then, then it becomes more clear to me, this is a special event. It's probably not gonna be, not gonna need a lot of support from the town, but there is an awareness that we need to make sure that it's, because I got slapped on the hand for not doing a special event permit for Ice Skating Park. Learning from that, let's just right off the bat say, let's ask for permission to do this. Because it really has the potential to be something bigger than this initial concept. And I gotta tell you that Russ was more and more excited as we talked through these possibilities. Cause he just happened to be having breakfast with someone who likes to do that. Yes, Don.
I just want to throw out, an opportunity, I see a good opportunity for marketing in that, Green Falls, has actually had a green, Bigfoot encounter,
Mhm.
which was documented on Mysteries of the Moon.
I know someone has 3 Bigfoot silhouettes
Yeah.
that they could use. I mean, we could put that out on the highway.
Yeah. Sure, why not?
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that. Day of the event advertising, or prior to advertising, setting it up a week in advance.
I think you got some enthusiasm.
yeah.
We
So,
could
so,
put big-
yeah, I mean, big picture, I'm trying to come up with some events for each season that can be continuations, Christmas. What was that event? Yule Day. Huge success. I don't have to remember everything. I just know that I get to do it again. That was a big, that was a big success, and so we'll continue that. Super skate at the park is even though it didn't work this year, it's a great idea. Something like this could turn into an annual thing very easily. And he specifically wants to use it as a tool to bring younger people to get them interested in trail maintenance. That's a big thing for him. And so I think it's in concert with everything that we are trying, a lot of the things that we're working on.
Especially this year, we're gonna have 2 years where the Ring of Peak Trail is inaccessible and unusable. So, yeah, giving him something to think a bit, talk about it, and that'll restore interest as that comes back online. Really good idea.
So then I think the next step probably, let's give the Friends group an opportunity to have their discussion. Okay, and then probably, I would contact Russ and say, we want to make this a town event. So we want to apply and just get an understanding of, is this his event, or are we having an event and him being part of it, which probably helps with the planning and making everything work in concert. Sounds like the way to go if you guys are supportive. So I will hear after Friends group, you and Rocco can decide who's going to get back with me about this. And then we can work on a special event application. So no formal action on that. I'm not aware of any correspondence. Anyone here? Reports, we took care of the pool park. Hotel park. Is that me? So right now we're waiting on Nancy and I to get soil samples. Well, no, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that we got to get that done. We got to send those off. I'm still waiting on Aspen Landscaping to give me a cost estimate on hydro seeding the ground. So spreading the grass seed, the grass mix that Carla Chapman suggested, and then putting together a price for the rest of the project in sort of a maintenance order. Because Carla had very specific instructions about what needed to happen step by step to make this, successful, and that's going to be a chemical treatment of the weeds once they're up and somewhat established, because apparently the chemicals don't work unless they are. I didn't know that. So there's that, and then there's knocking them down once they've killed the root, and then there's hydroseeding the turf, and then there's the planting and everything else. So I would like, my goal is to have a project budget that I can propose to we've done all of this at a PRT level. Some of the trustees have been at the community engagements and are aware, but we haven't made a formal recommendation to the board yet. And all of this has to be coordinated with town staff. So I'm trying to get a little bit more information, get a budget together so that we can start fundraising and get board approval, all to hopefully have this, in place, maybe happening in May. If we need things up, if the first step is to get weeds up so that we can kill them, we gotta wait for that. Well, she said something about an R word. I don't know what the chemical name is for Roundup.
What would the budget include? Initial costs and maintenance and upkeep or what? How's that?
It would include installation and irrigation, plant materials, soil amendment, et cetera, et cetera. Does not really have an ongoing maintenance expense, but it's pretty low maintenance plan that we put together. If we can get that grass mix up and going, it's slow growing, it's natural, so it doesn't have to be mowed or knocked down. It can be treated by chemical agents until we get, and once that's done, we can add wildflower mix to it. Yes.
Is there water we can tie into right there? No.
Yeah, it's something that's got to be repaired.
It's there, the water's there. It's somewhere, yeah, there's an access there, it doesn't, yeah, the fixing will need more than anything. More than water, nothing.
So that's something that could be happening now is, not in 3 feet of snow, whatever happens, but, that's something that Public Works could be looking into and town staff can be looking into contacting Colorado Springs Utilities, finding out what it's like for us to put an irrigation system there.
But that would be outside our budget, right? Or was that?
No, I mean,
It has to be done. So
the plant materials can't be put in aside from the grass without having water.
right.
So we need to figure that piece out.
Knowing what she selected and looking at like her grass, you should need minimal irrigation, like that shouldn't be a deal.
But the plant materials in the planted out areas will need some.
If it needs irrigation, why can't we have water trucks? That spray or-
Well, like Lisa's water.
Yeah.
Like Lisa does.
You know, just really
Just
well.
doing that and, I don't know.
And
We
yeah.
have a well, we have water, we have a water truck.
Yeah.
Maybe all we use is spray. You're welcome.
And I know all about getting weekly deliveries of water for my cistern over at the horse place that I've got cleaned out and ready to go. So that's my report on Hotel Park. Questions, comments? No. Nancy.
Repairs, so you probably saw already on the 2 trailheads, the big ones posted. Todd and I got plexiglass, also my trail ambassador budget is gone because I used all my money to print and to get the plexiglass, so hopefully I don't need any new t-shirts. I don't think I'm going to, but and then I got 10 laminated 11 by 17 they have on my trail ambassador boards, and also I've been giving them out to businesses so that they'll have this correct trail map, and I told them to get rid of the older maps. And the QR code down there goes directly to the town website, to where you can download just the digital copy, or you can download the Aviza, I think it's a Aviza app with the map in it.
And then when you're out on the trail, it will show you where you are on the trail.
Cool.
Geo-referencing.
Geo-referencing.
Very,
And this is the first map that shows all of our trails.
And Jay, you cannot act surprised about that because we've talked about it
Yes, yes.
oh, I know.
for so long.
So we've got amazing trail. And I'm so excited.
And the
about it.
trailheads look, yeah, looks great with that on there.
It does, and people have been using it, and I'm just.
Yeah, yeah.
oh, my heart.
The,
Yeah.
but it's on the, it's the digital copies on the, on the town website. Great.
Yeah, and you can download the app.
And you know, I put it out on social media and immediate people are like, where can I buy one? Can I buy one?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, you can go to the town website, you can do it for free, but Parks, Recs and Trails will always take donations for the trails. We don't have a simple way to donate, you know, just a donate button to where people can have, you know, donate on the town website. So that we can donate money and I think we would get some money from those, because people are happy with these maps and they really are shocked that they're free,
Can you,
so.
print it out to that size, 11 by 17?
Yeah.
If you download it?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So maybe that's good fundraiser for. It could be a fundraiser. It's gotta be town, because they're receiving the money. Can it be PRT, but we don't really have a mission.
we
I
could
think
get
our-
donations.
I think our mission though would be for the Trails Ambassadors.
Since I used up all my.
Either, Nancy, did you look at a Venmo for the trail investor group?
Not for this one,
Yeah,
Well,
any monies, yeah, anything that gets collected has to go through the town.
The town does not have. Sorry.
No, what were they using at the pool, Don? Because it's square, yeah.
so that is something that I can look into, because I think there is, you know, there's, even if I could put on the trailheads, a QR code that goes to a payment, you know, a payment like, were you happy with your hikes, support the trails by, or something, but I think with these new trail maps, people are excited about them. And, they would be willing to donate.
So maybe we should entertain a recommendation memo to the Board of Trustees to allow the sale printed town maps as donations to support the Trails Ambassadors Program. To request to the Board of Trustees to allow the sale of trail maps by donation to support the Trail Ambassadors Program. Because if we get their permission, then we can figure out the mechanics.
We already have, and it's set up where you can add a second button for the fast version of the trail code. And the thing that it doesn't address is the remote donation. This is all with a credit card.
But probably, you know, and I'm just guessing, probably the best way to do it is to have the maps here. And people come in and get one and make their donation.
Wireless that reaches out to the welcome center and have a remote card reader and sell them right there at the welcome center.
So such a great idea.
Yeah, it's just the QR code.
Yeah, I have this square on my phone that I use during Cross Day.
Yep, I use mine during Easter and Chisholm Trail Day. So that was a motion to make a recommendation.
I second that.
All in favor?
Alright.
Any other business before we adjourn? Then we are adjourned officially at 4:36 p.m.
Good meeting.
I think it's exciting about the schemes.
Getting some dancing.
Let me close the meeting here real quick.